So you're back again. You want to know what it was like to be a latchkey kid, huh? Well, if you've walked 500 miles, walked on sunshine, walked on the wild side, walked this way, moonwalked and walked like an Egyptian, and you're tired and need a nap, you're in the right place. Welcome to Latchkey Legends. My name's Chris. So, here we are again. I'm still excited. If you haven't seen the two videos in the rearview mirror, you might want to go back and check them out. Because we're growing. We're doing good. Third video. I'm going to definitely be posting one every Friday. But in between, if I have time, I'm going to do extra videos. I want to do as many as I can. We got a lot to talk about. We got a long way to go and a short time to get there. So, here we go. Episode 3. Now, as I promised, we're growing. We're doing good. We're up to 10 subscribers. We had 137 views for the 2 other videos. So we're growing. Got the new hat. We got the stuff coming rolling. The studio audience is growing. They're beating down the doors and they're begging me, can I be in the audience for your show? And I just want to prove what I'm talking about so you know I ain't full of crap. Everybody who was here for a previous video knew that we had one person in the studio audience. So now we've got Superman, and that other fellow over there is the Hulkster. So we're growing. We are definitely growing, and we're going to keep growing. We're going to make this a big deal. But today, I want to tell a story from, I don't know, about this time in 1987. It's one of my stories. I think it's a fun one. I don't know. You can judge for yourself, but I'm going to go with it and see if I can get some attention, and anybody else wants to throw a couple comments around, tell me some of their stories, and I'll put them on the show. We'll talk about everything, everybody, everywhere, anytime you want. So, I'll keep it into 2 sections here. This is what happened in the 1980s. And this is how we became Gen X, and this is how we became who we are today. Stories like I'm about to tell you. So, it's in 2 phases here. One is, first of all, I always was very much of a loner when I was a kid. Still am to some degree as an adult. But for some reason, my parents thought it was a good idea that I had a 4-wheeler. And you're going to probably know later on in time why that was probably a bad idea. But I also apologize if I look like a used up old raccoon. I just got done with a 12-hour shift from a job I hate. But on with the story. One of the neighbor kids I selected to go get in trouble with, it wasn't that far down the street, little ways, and we rounded him up, and we packed up this 4-wheeler with, some stuff, whatever we thought we needed. Of course, we had nothing we needed by the time we got to our destination. So, threw our stuff on, we lashed everything down with ropes and stuff, and threw him on the back, and we started heading up a dirt trail and through the woods, and our destination was a pond. I don't know how far away it was. It wasn't that far. It was a mile or 2 maybe. But as I've gotten older, time and depth and distance perception is very skewed nowadays. I don't know what causes that, but things are way different the way I remember it as to what they actually are. So we, after stopping 47 times to pick all the stuff up that fell off the 4-wheeler because we didn't know how to tie knots or strap anything down properly, we finally make it to our destination. And of course we get set up, we get the cooler out, and we had a pack of matches. That's probably not a good idea sometimes for children left unattended with matches. However, we had them, and caused a real problem for us. So in the interim of getting our stuff set up, we had some hamburgers, and I remember it like it was yesterday. All we took for food was hamburgers and some rolls in a cooler with no ice. Don't know why I remember that, but I do. So you got the 2 whiz kids up there, ready to start making it happen, ready to start being men. Well, we decided that we were going to be little Marlboro men in training, and we were going to make our own cigarettes. Now, this ain't a badge of honor, Mom. You might want to shut this video down because you ain't going to be pleased with this one. So, anyway, we wound up by the pond pulling these reeds out of the ground. I don't know if they were cat o' nine tails or what they were, but they were hollow, and they were big enough to stuff grass in. Not the weed, just regular grass out the ground. And we thought, wow, this is going to be fun. We got the matches out and we lit these buggers up. Excuse me. Well, they end up billowing black smoke out, and our faces are covered with smoke, and we're trying to inhale these things, coughing, spluttering, just dumb. Two dumb kids acting like dummies, which is how we learned through pain and misery and learning stuff the hard way. But of course, we weren't going to have it any other way in Gen X. So we finished smoking our little cigarette that we made, and then we decided, oh, wow, that was fun choking to death and suffocating ourselves. So let's go make another. So he's going to get the reeds, and he pulls one out, slices his hand, almost cut his finger in half because they were sharp. And we end up throwing him on the four-wheeler, taking him home, and his Gen X mom, Gen X dad, they were not happy. So then I got to go home and figure out, well, I should probably go back and get our stuff. A couple days later, I found out he wound up with a couple stitches, but he survived. We manned up. We did it. We made shit happen. But here we are. We're okay. Second phase of the story is one of my heroes in my childhood would have happened to be my grandfather. Good man. Love him. Still, he's not here with us anymore, but I still think about him every day. But he was one of my greatest allies when I would be in trouble. We'll talk about him more later in my high school career. Going to really tick off Gen X mother, but it is what it is. This stuff all happened. So anyway, get the phone off the wall. Still had a cord on it. You remember them? I'd love to have one of them right now. Get the phone up, call my grandfather, say, oh, Pap, got a problem over here. I need your help. I need you to cover for me. He was great at that. He really excelled at it, especially when I got in high school. But that's another video. So he shows up at the house. My parents, I don't remember where they were. They went somewhere. I think it was like a horse racing event or something they went to see. And it was getting late. And I'm panicking. How am I going to explain, all this stuff and, what happened to the kid down the street. And I don't have my stuff. So I figured, well, Pop and I will go get the stuff, get our tents, and get his stuff and mine. And we decided it was a good idea right before dark to start driving through the woods and try to find the campground, which during the daytime, it wasn't a big deal. He had no idea, and I was just a little man in training. So we decided to go retrieve the stuff, and what a bad idea that was. Not a good idea at all. So as we're driving to the location, we had had this catastrophe making cigarettes. We get the four-wheeler, it's dark now, pitch dark. We get the four-wheeler stuck between two trees. And we can't move it. It can't go forward, backwards. The thing don't have a headlight on it. It was a Yamaha Moto XC75 something with, a lightning clutch and all this fancy doodads and dooflickies and whatnots. But no headlight. Go figure. So we end up opting to get off the four-wheeler, leave it there. Don't know why we thought this was a good idea, but we did. And it's pitch dark. We don't have a flashlight. There's no phone, no GPS, no nothing, except him and I walking through the dark, having no idea where we are now. So he's like, yo, look over there. There's lights over there. I don't know, probably about 300 miles away. There was a house on the other side of the valley. He's like, let's walk towards that. I'm like, yo, good idea, Pap. Let's do that. He's an adult. I'm just a dumb kid. So let's let him be the adult here. And we get to walking. We're going down a hill. And I'm kind of terrified a little bit. We're out, kind of vulnerable. You know what's out, kind of animals are out there and all this stuff. But this is how we learned Gen X. We learned every damn thing the hard way, didn't we? Well, I'm kind of in the point here and in the lead, and I don't know why he wasn't. He just was letting me do my business, walking ahead. Well, I hear this falling, crunching, leaves cracking, and all this stuff. Sounded like he was getting eaten by a bear. Well, he fell. He tripped over somehow or another. Up in the side of the mountain was a string of barbed wire. Well, he fell over it, and his glasses went flying. His hat flew off. He had stuff in his pockets flying down the hill. And I thought he was crying. I thought he hurt himself, but he was laughing. So here we are now trying to find his glasses and stuff, and all his stuff flew out of his pocket all over the side of the mountain here. And So we do wind up finding his glasses, or, you know, we would have been in real big trouble if we didn't. The rest of the stuff we never found. I remember him having a pack of Rolaids or something, and never did find them or whatever else was in his pocket. So we keep walking towards this light, and about an hour and a half later, we find a road. So we didn't know where we were at once we hit the road. However, we were about 2 miles from home. So now we're schlepping up the road, you know, to walk home. Now it's getting late. It's probably 11:30. Time we get home, it's late, close to midnight, I would say. My parents weren't home yet. And now, like, what are we going to do now? How am I going to explain this to Gen X dad and Gen X mom? Somebody's going to start smacking and having a fit, belts out. Who knows how the punishment is going to go, but that's all just part of it, folks. That's what we had to do growing up. But they show up home, whatever time it was getting after midnight, and my dad has a good idea. Let's go find the four-wheeler. He had an old 68 Ford pickup truck, so he wants to go driving that through the mountain to try to find a four-wheeler. I'm pretty sure, if my memory serves me correctly, Gen X mom said, "Don't be stupid. This goof already got the thing stuck, and then you're going to be a goof and go get the truck stuck." And however, my dad probably would have found the thing in the pitch black dark. He was just that kind of guy. However, we opted to wait till the daytime, and don't remember exactly going back to get it. I remember him driving us to the truck. I don't remember, or driving us in the truck. I don't remember getting there. I don't remember how all that looked, but I remember the ride that we were on. The only thing I do remember is Gen X father was not in a good mood about all this. Now, they know about everything. I think if my mom and dad remember any of this, they don't know anything about the cigarette thing. They don't know how he actually cut his hand. They know he cut his hand on a reed. They don't know it was about making cigarettes, though. So, sorry, Mom, I told you. Shut it off. You ain't going to be happy with your little boy. But I'm 51 years old now. I ain't worried about her. That's the story. I hope it wasn't boring, but that was 1987. That's what it was like. I have more stories. Some are better. Some are more serious. We're going to cover them all. I want to hear your stories. Tell me if this was dumb. If you want me to ramp it up, go a different direction. It was boring. I don't really care. I'm open to constructive criticism. Not worried about any of that. So let's make it happen. That was the story. I'm done. That's it. I got to go to bed because I got to get up and go to the job that I hate tomorrow again. See you all on the next video. I'll be back. There'll be more stuff. I got some shirts coming. Just that we're going to grow. Let's grow. We're growing. I promise. See you then.